Chat, is this real aware? What Earth could look like in 2050?
While we're already feeling the devastating effects of human-caused climate change, governments continue to fall short on making and executing emissions pledges that would help thwart further warming. So, what will our world look like in the next 30 to 80 years if we continue on the current path? While it's impossible to know exactly how the next decade will unfold, scientists and climate experts have made projections, factoring in the current state of affairs.
All right.
This future we're about to describe is bleak, but remember, there's still time to ensure it doesn't become our reality. It's 2050. We've blown past the 1.5 degree target that world leaders promised to stick to. The Earth has warmed 2 degrees since the 1800s, when the world first started burning fossil fuels in mass scale. Reports on heat waves and wildfires regularly fill the evening news. Summer days exceed 40 degrees in London and 45 degrees in Delhi, as extreme heat waves are now 8 to 9 times more common. These high temperatures prompt widespread blackouts as power grids struggle to keep up with the energy demands needed to properly cool homes. Ambulance sirens blare through the night, carrying
But
patients
if it's much sunnier, doesn't that make solar much more efficient?
suffering from heat stroke, dehydration, and exhaustion. The southwestern United States, southern Africa, and eastern Australia experience longer, more frequent, and more severe droughts. Meanwhile, the Philippines, Indonesia, and Japan face more frequent heavy rainfall as rising temperatures cause water to evaporate faster and trap more water in the atmosphere. As the weather becomes more erratic, some communities are unable to keep pace with rebuilding what's constantly destroyed. Many move to cities where they face housing shortages and a lack of jobs. A resource squeeze is felt in newborn intensive care wards as the rising temperature and air pollution cause higher rates of premature and underweight births. More children develop asthma and respiratory disease, and rates balloon in communities regularly exposed to forest fire smoke. The global emissions added to the atmosphere each year finally start to level off thanks to government action, but it's decades too late. We failed to reach net zero in time.
Yep.
As a result, by 2100, the Earth has warmed another 0.5 to 1.5 degrees. Over half of our remaining glaciers have melted. As the sea heats up, its volume increases due to thermal expansion.
There goes Netherlands.
Together, this elevates sea level by well over a meter. Entire nations, like the Marshall Islands and Tuvalu, are uninhabitable, as large swaths of their islands are submerged. Some islands, like the Maldives, spend billions building interconnected rafts that house apartments, schools, and restaurants that float above its drowned
Like
cities.
Venice.
Resettled climate migrants in Jakarta, Mumbai, and Lagos are forced to abandon their homes once again as rising tides and extreme storms flood buildings and crumble infrastructure. Overall, 250 million people are displaced. Some affluent cities like New York and Shanghai attempt to adapt, elevating buildings and roadways. 10-meter-tall seawalls line the city's coasts. Children learn about extinct sea life which once inhabited the
Crabs?
ocean's reefs, all of which have vanished
Not the
thanks to
crabs.
rising surface water temperatures. Grocery prices skyrocket as food and water scarcity touch all communities.
I wonder
Fruits-
which animals will benefit from all of this. Interesting question. Some sort of like almost hybrid animals, right? What is that called? Amphibians, sort of? Mosquitoes. Oh, god damn it.
and products long
Bugs.
grown in the tropics and subtropics rarely show up on shelves
Insects.
as intense heat waves paired with
We're
increasing
all going to
humidity
be eating insects too.
make it deadly for farmers to work outdoors. Unpredictable heat waves, droughts, and floods cripple small-scale farmers in Africa, Asia, and South America, who previously produced 1/3 of the world's food.
Yep.
Hundreds of millions of people are pushed into hunger and famine. Climate predictions can feel overwhelming and terrifying. Yet many of the experts responsible for these assessments
okay.
remain optimistic.
okay.
Since countries have first begun taking steps to lower their emissions, warming projections have shifted downwards. In less than a decade, we've reduced our projected emission rates so that we're no longer on track to hit nearly 4 degrees of warming. Policies that invest in renewable energy sources, cut fossil fuel production, support electric transportation, protect our forests, and regulate
We just
industry
need to build a device that sucks up the carbon dioxide. Is that all the big issue? A giga tree.
can help mitigate the worst effects of climate change. But climate experts have also stressed that current policies and pledges don't go far enough
Exists
in
but won't
speed
work?
or scale.
I just don't think. I think we're too corrupt and too greedy to ever be able to properly dial back enough to stop all of this. The only way we'll ever get through this is if we find a way to counteract our own greed. We, like humans as a whole species.
Enacting real change will require bold solutions, innovation.
Have you planted
and
a tree in your
collective
life?
action.
I
There's
have,
still
actually.
time to rewrite our future.
Or I didn't personally do it, but I gave money. Some time back, I gave money to planted trees because I kept using paper to draw my dank tags on. I'd like to leave this planet with a net positive impact on the environment. That'd be nice. I have no idea how bad or what my scale is at right now. But at some point I should shove some money to try to buy. Too late? Well, you know, I'll pay off my dues. Get some planted trees. What else can you do? Stop using planes? No, I'd rather keep using planes, but then counteract it elsewhere. Is that cheating? Solar panels? No, we don't have it. Not yet. Might get it later. Carbon credits, right. Stop eating meat? Fuck no. I already eat less meat than the average meat eater. So that's... And I went all my youth with no meat. You encourage roughly 2K people a day to use electricity to watch the live stream. But what if I can... But sometimes I might tell you guys, like, about... I could just... Guys, if everyone goes and plants a tree right now, that's 2,000 trees. Well, what are you waiting for?
And every 10th of a degree counts.
No.
For a look at a time when the global community...
It's Jover. It's Jover. Sometimes I talk about, for example, the meat-free, what is that? The minced meat replacement we eat? That is actually delicious. I eat that shit frozen sometimes when I cook it. The fash, the corn or whatever. Corn. It's delicious. I actually prefer it to minced meat. But nothing will ever beat a meat sausage, though. I've never had a good vegetarian sausage. That's the one thing. But vegetarian minced meat is good. Fake meat and soy. Is it even... I feel like every time you hear about, like, environmentally good options, then it turns out that they're also bad. Like, they talk about... Did you guys know they added a tax to Swedish plastic bags that you buy in the store to encourage people to buy them less, right? They added, like, a tax. But then now they reverted the tax again because apparently people instead then would buy plastic on the roll separate in other stores, and they would buy these really bad imported plastic bags instead of like the nice Swedish plastic bags that were made from like beets or whatever. So it was like a net actually worse. A lot of times the alternatives you think are better are not even that much better. Not always. I'm not going to try to spread bad. But for example... A canvas bag, instead of using a plastic bag, a canvas bag needs to be used like a gazillion times to be made up for the production impact, right? I think like more than most people use it. No, yes, no. Everyone's saying yes and no. Chat, everything that I just said, I want everyone to know that I have no fucking idea what I'm talking about. So don't quote me on anything of this. The things I'm throwing out here are subject to people can correct me if they want to, because I don't know what I'm talking about. So don't quote me on any of this stuff. Buy reusable canvas bags or tote bags. That's what I use. Are canvas bags better for environment than plastic bags? Take your canvas bags. Take your canvas... Wait, what's a tote bag? Isn't that the same thing? Made from sturdy materials like cotton. Joe. They're undeniable champions of reusability. There's a hidden... This.
Production. Footprint. Manufacturing canvas totes requires resources like water, energy, and potentially harmful chemicals depending on the production process. This initial footprint needs to be offset by frequent use for the tote to become truly eco-friendly.
You gotta use them enough. Oh, did I just burn through a tree using AI to read that text? There's a best of internet daily notes. There's the new unusual memes. This thing looks insane.